It was well past midnight when Dr. Samir Patel quietly stepped into room 317. The hallway lights were dim, the hospital hushed except for the rhythmic beeping of machines and the occasional footsteps of nurses on rounds. Inside the room lay Eleanor Blake, a name that once commanded headlines, business empires, and charity galas. Now, she was simply a silent figure beneath white sheets, in a coma for nearly 6 months after a horrific car accident. Samir, a young doctor in his residency, wasn't even assigned to her case anymore. But something about her had drawn him in since the first day. Maybe it was the contrast between her glamorous past and her fragile stillness now. Or the photograph by her bed, her laughing on a beach, hair tangled by the wind, a golden retriever beside her. Maybe it was that he saw in her not a millionaire, but a human being forgotten by the world. Every night, after his shift ended, he'd stop by. He talked to her as if she could hear him, even though the chart said otherwise. He told her about his day, about growing up in Queens, about his dog, Buddy, who once chased a squirrel into a neighbor's wedding. He didn't expect a response. He just believed someone should talk to her. That night, he came in to change a bandage on a sore developing on her back. It was a small task, usually left for nurses, but Samir insisted on doing it himself when he could. It was his way of showing her dignity, even if no one noticed. As he cleaned the wound and applied a fresh dressing, he spoke gently. "I was thinking about Buddy again today. He used to hate the rain. You ever have a dog like that? Maybe it's your dog in that picture. You looked happy there." Then, without even thinking, he reached for her hand. "Wherever you are right now, I hope you're not alone." A soft twitch. Just a flicker. Samir froze. Her fingers had moved. He called for help. Nurses rushed in, followed by specialists. The room filled with noise, with disbelief, with hope. Over the next few minutes, Eleanor's eyelids fluttered. Her vitals spiked. Brain activity surged. She was waking up. Within days, she was conscious, though weak. And when she first spoke, she surprised everyone. "I heard you," she said quietly to Samir. "Your stories, your voice. It helped me hold on." The news exploded, millionaire wakes from coma, but the real story was what came after. Eleanor began a slow but steady recovery. What stunned people most was what she did next. Using her fortune, she created a foundation called the HumanKind Project, to support young medical professionals who lead with compassion. She named Samir as its first director. At the foundation's launch, she said, "In my darkest hours, it wasn't the money that saved me. It was a voice in the night. A simple act of kindness repeated day after day. That changed everything." Samir never sought recognition. He went back to his hospital duties, unchanged in spirit, though deeply moved. When asked why he did it, why he visited a woman who couldn't respond, he said, "Because no one should be alone in the dark. Not when we have a light to give." In a world often focused on power and wealth, it wasn't a business deal or a miracle drug that brought Eleanor back. It was kindness. The kind you can't measure. The kind that saves. And somewhere in a quiet hospital room, kindness reached out, and someone found their way home.